Those who give up some of their liberty in order to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety.
Welcome to Scott's Media, where we explore truth, history, and freedom through the lens of today's America. The Second Amendment, just 27 words long, has shaped the identity of this country for more than 2 centuries. It reads, "A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed." Behind those words lies the story of a nation that fought for freedom, feared tyranny, and trusted its people with the power to defend both. Today, we're going to uncover what the Second Amendment truly means, not through headlines or politics, but through the everyday lives of Americans who live under its promise. When the Bill of Rights was written, America was still trembling from revolution. The Founding Fathers had seen tyranny firsthand, British soldiers marching through colonial streets, enforcing laws that stripped citizens of their voice, their privacy, and their protection. The people who built this country weren't professional soldiers. They were farmers, blacksmiths, and shopkeepers who picked up their own rifles and fought back. To them, owning a firearm wasn't an act of defiance. It was survival. It was the assurance that no government could ever again take their liberty by force. The Second Amendment was written not to glorify violence, but to ensure that every citizen could stand as a safeguard against it. It wasn't about control, it was about trust in the people to protect their own freedom. 200 years later, America is no longer a scattered frontier. We have armies, police, and advanced technology that the founders could never have imagined. But the heart of the Second Amendment and the right of citizens to protect themselves remains the same. When the amendment mentions a well-regulated militia, it isn't about government control. It's about discipline, training, and readiness. The idea that freedom must be paired with responsibility. That same principle lives on today in gun safety programs, marksmanship training, and responsible ownership. These are not extremists. They're teachers, nurses, veterans, and families who believe in safeguarding what the Constitution entrusted to them. Yet, even with all that progress, the debate over the Second Amendment continues, not because its meaning has changed, but because society has. The tools are different, the dangers have evolved, but the principle remains timeless. Freedom is both a right and a duty. It cannot survive without responsibility, awareness, and respect for life. For the founders, the right to bear arms was not a call to chaos. It was a recognition that tyranny, in any age, begins when people are stripped of their means to stand. They understood that peace and preparedness are not enemies. They are partners. The ability to defend one's home, one's family, and one's freedom is a fundamental expression of self-determination. It's not about fear, it's about dignity. Across the centuries, that same understanding has carried through the hearts of millions of Americans, from the farmers who guarded their homesteads to the veterans who returned home and kept their oath alive through discipline and respect for the law. These people represent the true meaning of the Second Amendment. Not reckless violence, but readiness with purpose. When we look at this right today, it isn't about dividing a nation. It's about remembering why it was written, why ordinary men and women once stood on a field at sunrise, willing to defend the fragile gift of liberty. The tools have changed, the uniforms have changed, but the principle of responsibility has not. Freedom is not inherited. It is earned, protected, and passed down. And so the Second Amendment stands as more than just a line in the Constitution. It is a promise, a reminder that the cost of liberty is eternal vigilance, tempered by restraint, honor, and understanding. The same courage that forged this nation still lives on today in those who choose to protect it with respect, discipline, and conviction. Across America, millions of people quietly live the spirit of the Second Amendment every day. It's the hunter walking through the mist before sunrise, honoring generations of tradition. It's the veteran maintaining discipline and respect for a weapon he knows too well. It's the mother who takes classes, learning how to defend her home responsibly. And it's the peaceful citizen standing at a rally, holding a flag instead of a sign, exercising both their First and Second Amendment rights together. These people are not statistics. They are the living proof that freedom, when paired with wisdom, still works. But freedom is never without consequence. For every right, there is a responsibility, and for every tragedy, a lesson. Our nation has known heartbreak, school shootings, community loss, and moments that test our unity, but the answer has never been to abandon freedom. The answer has always been to refine our understanding of it. The founders believed that liberty could only endure when matched by character. To own a firearm, they believed, was a moral trust, a duty to act with reason, restraint, and care for others. The Second Amendment is not a license to harm. It's a reminder that we must always choose restraint over recklessness and awareness over fear. Through time, the courts have shaped how we understand this right. In landmark cases, the Supreme Court affirmed that the Second Amendment protects an individual's right to keep and bear arms, independent of militia service. But even that right, like all others, is not without boundaries. Every state interprets and regulates it differently. What's legal in Texas may not be in California. And while that can spark debate, it's also the essence of democracy, a living conversation between freedom and order. Our founders expected disagreement. What they didn't expect was apathy. The Second Amendment, like every freedom, demands engagement, discussion, understanding, and an informed public willing to think before it speaks and act before it divides. In the end, the Second Amendment is not about division. It's about empowerment, the belief that a free people can be trusted with both strength and wisdom. In today's America, this right represents self-reliance, courage, and accountability. It connects the past to the present, from the musket to the modern rifle, from revolution to daily life. It reminds us that freedom was never given easily, and it will never endure passively. True liberty isn't just about what we can do. It's about what we choose to do responsibly. And that's where the real meaning of the Second Amendment lives, not in fear or politics, but in everyday people who still carry both the right and the responsibility to protect freedom.
When a king becomes a tyrant, he thereby breaks the contract binding his subjects to him.
How so?
By taking away their rights.
Rights that came from him in the first place?
All except one. The right to be free comes from nature.
And are we not free, Mr. Jefferson?
Homes entered without warrant, citizens arrested without charge, and in many places, free assembly itself denied.
No one approves of such things, but these are dangerous times.
Be careful, Mr. Dickinson. Those who give up some of their liberty in order to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety.
Thanks for watching Scott's Media, where truth meets creativity. Check out these videos to keep the story going. And yep, that's the official merch right on your screen and in the description below. Want to support the channel directly? My Cash App and Venmo are below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss what's next. Rock the message, support the mission. I'll catch you in the next one.